Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over 5 lazy gold making methods that you can do right now. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we're going to be going over 5 lazy gold making methods that pretty much anyone can do. Some of them do take a little bit of time in order to set up, and some of them you can just jump straight onto. So without that being said, let's jump into number 1, which is your garrison. Now, since WoD, the garrison took a hit when it comes towards the passive amounts of gold you can make, but it is still actually quite viable in order to make gold on a lazy or on a very low time efficient way. So that being said, what you're going to be wanting to do is you'll be doing your garrison missions. This is because you will want to be able to trade in those garrison resources in order to turn into the trading post in order to buy WoD materials to sell on the auction house. Failing that, you can also use this in order to supplement other different types of things, which we'll be covering in a second. Other things of note that you will be wanting to do is at least have the extreme scavenger trait on all of your followers. The followers can be purchased for those specific traits through the Lunarfall Inn or the Frostwolf Tavern. The next things of note that you can do in order to make gold is the Tailoring Emporium to make hex weave bags, as well as utilizing your herb garden and mine by literally ranking that up to rank number 3 and then just mining and herbing each and every day. This does add up if you have multiple ults. Another thing of note is the stables. This is for Savage Bloods, and this is the one that takes the most amount of time in order to set up and maintain, but overall it does actually provide you with a decent amount of gold each and every day once you have ranked it up to its max. The next one of note is the Salvage Yard, and the Salvage Yard at rank number 3 will give you additional things and bags and crates from doing your garrison missions each and every day. This can be garrison resources to trade into the trading post, but also can provide you with other different types of BOEs, which tends to be just disenchanting them for their dust because they don't really go for all that much, but also other WoD materials that you wouldn't have otherwise. So it is always a good idea to have the salvage yard just there. The last thing of note is the alchemist study, which you can use in order to make alchemical catalyst, and then you can either sell that on the auction house or use that to create the philosopher's stone with the respective expansion. Other things of note for that is the scribe's quarters, which is definitely one of the most profitable, as this is used to make the cards of omen, which you can either flip or sell on the auction house. The most profitable way at this moment in time is tending to sell them directly on the auction house upon crafting. Aside from all of that, let's just jump into our next one at number 2, which is the Tiller's Farm. Now, the Tiller's Farm is quite straightforward, and all you're going to need to do for this one is by doing the daily quests until your farm is unlocked. The Tiller's Farm is located within the Heartland, and this is in the Valley of the Four Winds. Most people have the flight path to it, so you shouldn't have that much of a problem. The other things of note that you will be wanting to do once you've done all of your daily quests and you've fully unlocked your farm is by planting snake root most predominantly. You can plant other different types of seeds and all that jazz, but realistically you're going to be wanting to plant snake root. The reason being for this is because when you actually pick the snake root, you get to obtain ghost iron, black trillium and white trillium ore from your farms each and every day. This is used as a supplementary method to make the Sky Golem mount for pretty much free, and other than that, it is a very good way in order to pull in some additional gold if you are feeling lazy. So if you are doing something like that, it is definitely well worth your time, as free mats are always a good thing. Aside from all of that, let's just jump into our next one at number 3, which is fishing. Now, you're probably wondering why I've put fishing as a lazy gold making method. This is because you can pretty much just stand there in the open world and just fish. You don't really have to move all that much, and pretty much all you have to really do is just click a bobber when it actually goes. I put this as a lazy gold making method because you are literally standing still and just waiting for a bobber, and you can pretty much just watch anything and do anything else while you're actually doing fishing in the game. Notable fishing farms that you can do are the albino cavefish, the deviate fish, and also the pygmy suckerfish. Albino cavefish is located within Deepholm, deviate fish is located outside of the Wailing Caverns, and the pygmy suckerfish most predominantly is farmed in the Howling Fjord. These are definitely very good farms in order to do, and I'd highly recommend checking them out. Aside from that, let's just jump on to our next one at number 4, which is spawn camping. Now, spawn camping is a pretty simple process. You get an alt, you place it near the spawn location of a rare mob or world boss, and what you're going to be wanting to do is just logging each and every day or each and every time the respawn timer would reset. So for instance, with the Reigns of Poseidus mount, you're going to be wanting to do a lap every 4 hours, or for me, I personally do this at 9 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night. This is when most predominantly the world boss has not been killed, and then I'm able to get a free mount for this. Aside from that, there is better ones that actually drop more frequently, but they don't go for an awful lot, and that is the Gar Nighthowl mount in Frostfire Ridge. This one has a 20-minute respawn timer, so you could theoretically log in every 20 minutes, but I would not actually say that. What I would actually recommend for this is, I would say log in every time you have a bit of downtime, and that means you get a free mount that sells from anywhere from around about 300 to 1000 gold depending on your server. That being said, other notable ones are the spawn of Gilnathus, and this is located off of the Taolong Steps, and aside from all of that, the last ones are the Timeless Isle rares, which I predominantly do as they have a high uptick just for getting lucky with those battle pets, and it's not that hard to do an entire loop of the island killing all the rare elites, especially if you wake up as early as I do and all of the rares are up. That being said, let's just jump on to our last and final thing at number 5, and that is crafting flips. Now, crafting flips is by taking something from the auction house or just farming in the open world. Predominantly, if we're going with a lazy gold making method, we're going to be wanting to source our materials from the auction house, and this is by either getting cloth and turning them into bolts, herbs and turning them into inks, ores to bars, and also utilizing the ink trader if we so wish. This is because we can then the baseline inks and trading them into the ink trader for more expensive ones to sell on the auction house. This goes for the Spirit of Harmony vendor and the Frozen Orb vendor in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, and also the Northrend Dalaran respectively. This is a very good way in order to make some really easy gold each and every day, and the best ones that I've found is definitely ores to bars and also herbs to inks. I find that those ones are very good ones, especially if you have a smelter and a inscription character, because then you can use those different types of bars and inks in order to either trade into the ink trader for a reduced cost than just buying the other inks off of the auction house. But along with that, I tend to find is more cost effective turning them into other different types of items, which doesn't take that long at all, because you can basically press craft all and just let it run. Aside from all of that, guys, that is pretty much my list for the 5 lazy gold making methods that you can do right now. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon. If you want to support the channel and help make the channel even better, then why not check out the Patreon. Members get additional info, gold making resources, and Patreon specific content. The link is located in the description down below. Thank you and have an awesome day.
Yeah.